Hello everyone, so as we can see from the title, we are going to be finally filling this wall behind me and this very white blank wall which has been blank, I think, for as long as I've lived here. I don't think I've actually ever put anything on these walls. Can't remember, but we're now in mid-March of 2025 and I've nearly been here 3 years and this story's getting somewhere. First we're going to address the hat. I'm wearing a hat inside, yes, I'm aware of that, because my hair is, there's no knots in it. I've brushed it, but this is how it's looking now. It's growing out to a weird length. I don't really want to cut it right now. Feeling a bit anxious over life, and I don't really want to go to the hairdressers and sit there, or the barber shop, whatever you want to call it, and sit there for like an hour while they trim up my hair. Don't feel like I'm up to that right now, so we're just going to grow it for a bit. I prefer it short. I prefer it a tiny bit shorter than this. When it was really scraggly, that's when I liked it. Not too short, not too long. But right now we're just going to make the best of a bad situation, and we're just going to focus on finally doing something with these walls. Why am I doing it now, specifically now? Alex, you've got all year to do this. Why are you doing it randomly in the middle of March when you've just come home, blah, 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 blah? Because, right, this picture was taken the day I moved into this house in 2022. Well, I say it was filmed, taken by my mum round about the time I moved in. I got my keys the 24th of May 2022. I was building my bed in that picture, so I don't think it was specifically the 24th. I think it was maybe a very early June of 2022. Did I say 2024 before? 2022 anyway. And so then this picture was taken a year after in 2023. As you can see, I have my old bed. I have my old bed in that picture. Let's move here so we can see the pictures better. So as you can see, I have my old bed in that picture. So it looks different. You know, I finally built the bed. My room looks different. The room layout's different. And then there's this picture, which is the same bed, the same bedding, the same walls, the same pictures. And I'm like, I take one of these pictures every single year, on the same day every single year, the 24th of May. I throw this little, call it weird, but I never thought I was ever going to live alone. I never thought, when I was like diagnosed with autism back in 2014, early 2015. It's 2015 because it's just been 10 years actually. I kind of just thought I was never going to be able to be independent. When I got older and I started to not get better per se, I don't really know a way of wording it accurately, but I started to become more independent is probably the best way I can put it. And I realised, you know, I probably could live alone, you know, with the support that I get, especially with my parents, which I'm really grateful for. I do think I could live alone, and I did. Even my parents didn't think I could do it, but I'm still managing it. It's almost been 3 years, you know, and I'm really proud of myself. So every 24th of May, I kind of hold a little Alex's Independence Day kind of party. Me, usually my mum and my family, I get a cake. This was a picture of me with my cake. I was by myself last year. I get a cake and I put the number of years in with the candles. Seems weird. I don't make a big fuss. It's just something that I like to do every year. And on that day, every year, I take a picture now of me sat in the same spot that my mum just so happened to coincidentally take a picture of me to send to my dad while I was building my bed. Like, look, she's so much like you, because my dad loves to build and I like to build. And it just became a habit. Until I was sat, I was thinking, we're in March now. This has slowly crept up on me. We're already in March. May is only 2 months away. And I'm like, I can't take another picture sat here, which I think the exact picture's taken about here, roughly. It's like here, or something like that, or the other side of the room looking exactly how it looked last year, like identical, same bedding, same pictures on the wall, same everything, with nothing on these white walls, which you can see the white walls in those pictures. These whichever side I film it on, I can't remember off the top of my head, whatever side I take the picture on. So I was like, right, I'm gonna have to get these walls done. I'm gonna have to put something on these walls to make the next picture in May look a little different. Like, that's simply the only reason why I'm doing it now in March. So I struggle with insomnia. Like, I have my whole life. I've actually just recently changed doctors to my local doctors. Yes, it has taken me a long time. Again, I don't like change. I've been with the same doctor my whole life. Like, I had my newborn injections there. I've been with that one doctor's forever. Never changed doctors. In my hometown, was comfortable with all those doctors. I'll get into that. And until recently, where I finally realised I could access my medical notes online. Like I could just log into the NHS website and access them online whenever I wanted to. Didn't know you could do that. Forgot why so I've recently, as of recording this in March, I've got an upcoming, finally after 4 years, I've probably mentioned it before on the channel, I've been waiting 4 years for an appointment to see a mental health professional, to see a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Waited 4 years, finally next week as of recording this, in mid-March 2025, I finally have an appointment to see them. And so I just wanted to look through my medical records anyway, just to leading up to my appointment, into like an initial consultation. And I noticed that there was one specific doctor that was writing some not very nice things about me. And I already knew he had done this like back in 2023, but like the newest ones that he had written they were getting worse. And I just didn't feel comfortable. Like I only really go to see my GP. I'm never physically unwell, and I'm really grateful for that I'm never actually physically unwell. Like I've never got a sore throat. If I'm ever ill, it's the flu and doctors can't really do anything with that. I've never physically, it's always mental illness I go to the doctors for, and it's really a like last case scenario. Every time I've wanted to speak to somebody, I've had to wait 4 years to speak to these people. I haven't had any other mental health intervention between those, no matter how much me and my mother would beg. So my real only port of call would be the GP, and so I'd go to the GP whenever I was struggling, and that was really my only option. And it's when I'm at my most vulnerable, if you'd like, or when I'm at my most saddest, and I didn't trust being able to open up to them anymore. I didn't trust going there for help. I just kind of shut down. And so my mum and I thought it was best that I finally, which I should have probably done when I moved here, but again, don't like change, moved to my local doctors. Where was this story going? Doctors. Where was this story going? It's going somewhere. This story was going somewhere. Medical records. Can't remember where I was going with that story. So on about insomnia? Was I on about insomnia? Yeah, so it might come back to me, but I really struggle with insomnia, right? And so as I was lying awake, going through my medical records, don't know how that got into the story, but I was lying awake, lying on my bed one night, and just thinking, and I was like, what can I do with these walls, right? So I'd spent a lot of my nights laying awake, staring at the ceiling, you know, completely unmedicated. I did used to be on melatonin, like melatonin hormone supplement things. They took me off them. They wouldn't give me them anymore, even though they did help me to sleep, but I digress. And so I'd spend a lot of my nights just lying here looking at these walls, and I'd started to just plan out. And I did do like a digital drawing, like on like the internet, to show my mum what I was planning, because my mum was very intrigued. She is very intrigued to see the outcome of these walls. It's not going to be that great, it just needs something on the walls really, something meaningful, because everything in my house is kind of like meaningful to me. Like it tells a story. Like my whole house kind of is like, English teachers would love me because my house is like, what's it called? Pathetic fallacy, something like that, where like everything has a meaning. And if you walk through my house, my aim is for it to tell some sort of story. And this is kind of very Australia, beating my illnesses, beating my anxieties sort of room. Like when I sit in here, I'm full of inspiration. Maybe not the best for a bedroom, because like your bedroom, you just really want to go to sleep. But it's the first thing I'm going to look at when I wake up. It's the last thing I'm going to look at when I go to sleep. So I want it to be the most inspirational room, hence this wall that's behind me. And so I'd made this plan, right, on this wall, right? So the first port of call, or at some point, we have to move the mirror up. Like I've got a whole new bit, like thing of the tape I use to stick things on the walls because I rent. And I've got this thing, right? And so when you stand up, I'll see if I can show you guys what I mean, put you at face level, you can see it. You can see it, like at the bottom. And so I need to move it up about 4 to 6 inches. Up that's my New Year's resolutions list. I keep it up there so I can look at them as I'm getting ready in the mirror in the morning. We've also got down here these pictures. Well, they're not pictures, they're books that go with, this book here, which is, I've got a clock up there as well. There's my koala, the beads I painted in Australia, Australian blankets. And so I did have these up. See if I can. I did have these up with these metal command hooks. These hooks are £11 each, and they are impossible to find. Like, they used to sell them in my local Asda, but they've just stopped. They've stopped selling everything. That, like, if anyone can find in England to find chocolate ready break, like the children's chocolate oats, can't find them anywhere, and I used to live on them. So, and I'm really annoyed that they stopped selling them. I don't like normal oats. I don't like the texture of them. I only liked ready break, but that's also disappeared along with these out of Asda. So I had no more. So I've had this one on the wall for quite a while now, ever since I've put this on. My hats used to be down here, but I've took my hats off my wall now. And so I bought to put, so they're going to go down the wall like that with hooks. So you can, that's the pole to open my window. My window is currently open. So you can still slide them out and read them. And so what I bought was, oh, we're back. What I bought was these. So instead of paying £11 each for those metal hooks, which would be £44, or if you want that in Australian dollars, because they're in Australia books, that's $88 or $90 per book to put them on the wall. I just bought these little hooks that have a little lip on them from Amazon. I bought 2 packs of 6 because I was like, right, if I've got 3 books and I use 4 hooks per book, feels like I'm in a maths question from year 3. How many hooks am I going to be needing? So 3 times 4 is 12. I saw a pack of 6 for £6, and so I bought 2 of them. So I've got 12 hooks for like the same amount of price it would have cost for 1 hook. So I just got these, plus they're black, and these bits are a lot thinner because with them, the metal bits, it takes up a lot of the actual artwork. So I'm hoping I can stick these on the wall, and then they go like this. I used to do this. I used to collect the Animal Crossing. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it here. Like the Animal Crossing Amiibo card photo albums, not photo albums, card albums. Bit like Pokemon card albums to put your Pokemon cards in. But these were like, I don't even know if they're a thing anymore since like New Horizons came out. But for the old game, like for New Leaf, they had these books, and you could get these cards, and you'd scan the cards on your Nintendo DS. And no one really played Animal Crossing, not like the state that they do now, like not to the extent they do now. But I used to have them on the wall, and when I was like 16, 15, when they came out in like 2015, and that's how I came up with this idea, because I was like, I want to put them on the wall because they were like big, they were like, you know, like a big album, and so I was like, I didn't want to put them on a shelf because I wanted them on display because they had like Animal Crossing. I had a whole Animal Crossing themed bedroom. Yes, I was obsessed with Animal Crossing New Leaf, and I wanted it on display, but I was like, I didn't know how to put it on the wall. I didn't want to put shelves up and have them on a shelf, and so I came up with this idea where I'd get hooks and put like one there. You have to make sure it's got like the lip on it though, and then one there, and then 2 at the top. And you can kind of slide them in and out, and they will stay put, and you can still take them out and read them, and it protects them. Saves space on bookshelves if you've got big books that have, because all of these match, you know, I got these, like they're all the same artist with all the same artwork, and I just liked them. I loved the colours. Like, this was the first one I got, and this is the one I just fell in love with it. It's just the artwork is just, look at it. I think I've probably showed people like a million times, but I would show people a million more, you know what I mean? So that's for that. That's got really nothing to do with these walls, but that's one of our projects we're going to be doing in this video. This video is going to be a bit higgledy-piggledy because I ordered everything at once. Everything, Amazon and Etsy and Mixtiles was the shops I was using. Mixtiles makes the... Did I get them from Mixtiles? No, they're from Free Prints. I got the ones in the hallway from Mixtiles, but these are big. Like 3 big pictures of like me looking out into the horizons of all different countries. I've got Wales, I've got England, and I've got Australia. 3 so far. I am going to Spain or somewhere either this year, end of this year, or next year. I'm going somewhere with my mum. She wants to go abroad, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll come with you. My dad's not really much of a traveller, and so I always said I'll go with her. And so I'll be able to get another picture there, hopefully, if I can find a decent spot to take a picture. But until now, there's going to be 3 of them with like a quote on the bottom of on the top. It says something like, should be in a therapist office, really, like it's very therapist office-y, but I liked it and I really liked the sentiment. It says something like, I'm not what happened to me. I'm not what's happened to me, I'm what I choose to become, or something like that. And it's taking these foam letters that you just double-sided tape stick onto the wall, or however you want to stick them on. And I just liked the sentiment. I don't know if I'm going to put it all on or just one line of it. I don't know how I'm going to lay it out yet. None of that stuff's arrived yet, so this video is going to be very in bits. I'm just doing it as and when it's coming. I can't put so in here, in this massive box, I'm going to open on time lapse in a bit. In that and in this are the pictures to go into those frames, hopefully, if they fit. This is all that's arrived. We can't put them, they're going onto this wall, right? But we can't do that because what still hasn't arrived is a big sun. Like, my whole plan, right, for this wall is a big yellow sun here, right? Like a graphic sun that I've got off Etsy, right? And then on the top is this custom made, like, lyric from, so my favourite band is AJR. AJR saved my life. AJR is everything to me in that I need in music. I have not listened to really anything. It's all my mum listens to, it's all my dad listens to. They love them. They did save my life in like late 2023. I was like, I'm really sad. They brought a new album out and I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And I owe it to these 3 random dudes that sing these. They're just so talented. Like, they're the ones that got me into wanting to learn the piano, and then I want to learn the guitar now. And because they class themselves as multi-instrumentalists, I'm like, oh my God, I want to be a multi-instrumentalist. They're really talented dudes. Really recommend checking out some of their music, specifically their new stuff. Not really into like their old albums, but their newer albums, specifically the Maybe Man. One of my favourite albums ever. That's the album that was like, oh my God, I can't die now. I've got to stay alive for this album, you know what I mean? But they're really, really talented. And so we're going to get a sun, obviously because it's yellow. Because I've got yellow on this wall. So much yellow on that wall. But that's the only wall I've got yellow on. Because I'm like, oh my God, I want to make this room like grey and yellow. Yellow is a happy colour. It symbolises like the sun. But that's the only wall I've got yellow on. So I was like, right, I'm going to get a sun. And it's going to go here. And on the top of that is going to be graphics of like, if it works out the way I want it to, one of my favourite lyrics from one of their songs. Which song was it be? The last song on the Neo Theatre album. And one of the lines is, I hope I made you smile, that's all I ever wanted. It's just great song, great lyrics, means a lot to me. And that's going to go on top of the sun, on the top. And then underneath there's going to be 4 frames with all the album art underneath it. It should fit. It should fit. I did do a bit of measuring the best that I could while half asleep when I was doing this with insomnia the other week. So hopefully that fits. So we're good. We can't put the frames on until the graphics have arrived, but they haven't arrived yet. The only things that have arrived is the frames and the pictures to go in the frames. On this wall is going to be, I can't really see, but top of the wall is going to be the first line of that quote thing. Then it's going to be the 3 pictures, and then underneath is going to be the other line. If that doesn't work out and 2 lines of text look weird, I'll just use the I can be whatever I choose to become line and put that on the top. I don't know yet. It hasn't arrived. I'll have to fiddle around with it and see what I want to do with it. But I just thought it'd be fun to film. I like to film everything to do with my house. I started making YouTube the same year that I moved into this house. And so 90% of the stuff that I've done in this house, I filmed. Every sticker I've put on the wall, everything I've built is somewhere on this channel. And I just want to carry on with that really, and I just thought this would be a good video idea to do, even though it is going to be a bit all higgledy-piggledy really. And so the next clips you're going to see are going to be time-lapse, just because it's just easier for me to do them time-lapse instead of trying to think of something to say in them and to just put some voiceovers or some music inside of them. We're going to open these. You can see them better. They're all like, literally, they're all, I took the tape off it last night. They're literally all in bubble wrap right now. I don't know if they're right. They literally just asked on the Etsy page, they asked for the artist, the album release date and the album name, and they did the rest. So I'm hoping that they did their research into AJR and got it correct. They seem to have good reviews, so we can see that. And then hopefully I got the right size prints for the right size frames. I think they're meant to be A2, which is double the size of A3, so A3 is double A4 and A2 is double A3. So it's like 4 A4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That's how big they should be. Are they going to fit? I don't know. Because originally this was going to be the AJR wall, but that really long line of, you know, I can be whatever I choose to be quote was too long. Like, this thing's massive. It cost like £200 for this thing. And I didn't realise how long it was going to be until I'd actually like ordered it. And I was like, oh wait, what are the measurements of that thing? And it's like 230 centimetres long and it's on 2 lines. So like, yeah, I could probably, but they give you like a stencil, so you couldn't really mess with that either. Like, they give you a stencil, like a wooden or cardboard stencil to put it on the wall with or something. Don't really know how it works. I've never ordered from the shop before. But I have a few of their things in my wish list, my watch list sort of thing. So yeah, just thought I would make this intro. And yeah, we're going to move the mirror up. I don't know if I'll do that today actually, but again, it will just all be on this big time lapse together for you to watch. Don't know if I'll do that today because I'm tired. I didn't sleep last night because I'm anxious. And then we're going to put them not the pictures. Why do I keep calling you guys pictures? Your books. Going to put the books on the wall, change the hooks around. Put the books on the books on the hooks. That's a mouthful to say. And then we are going to be putting these in the frames because I just want to get rid of the cardboard. I was going to originally leave it all until just keep them all in the box and then just do it all. But then there'll be like so many boxes, so much to do that I might as well just do the things I can do while they arrive. You know, just to kind of create not as much overwhelm. I've been feeling very overwhelmed lately, actually. The whole doctor situation. Don't know where I was going with that story. Still don't know where I was going with that story, but I digress. I haven't been too great recently, and that's been a big reason. Was that just because I was telling you about the doctor situation? I was like, oh my god, I'm stressed over the doctor situation. Could have been, actually. I don't know where I was going with that story. But I've been spending a lot of my nights just laying awake, staring at the ceiling or staring at my walls. So it'll be nice to finally have something on these 2 walls to kind of look at, because when I'm in bed I can't see that wall, and so I'm just glad I'm finally doing something with these walls actually. So I will see you when the time lapses are done, when all my other stuff has arrived, unless I time lapse that as well. But I'll see you when I see you, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Oh my god! So this whole thing was painful to do actually. Well, the second wall I do, the bit that you'll see at the very end of this video, was significantly easier. Even though it looks like it would have been harder to do, it wasn't. I did that all by myself. You'll hear at the end of the video that I didn't end up putting the AJR pictures up by myself. My dad had to do that because the issue I was having, by the way, so what you see me doing here, by the way, is very satisfyingly taking off all the wrapping for my AJR frames. AJR is a band, by the way. And so that what you see there is the album covers of with the list of songs. It's got let me just look at them. I'm in the same room as them right now. It's got the release date, the genre, the release label, and the album length, and then it's got the list of songs on the other side. So we've got the Maybe Man there. Then I think we had Neo Theatre, and the last one should be OK Orchestra, which was their 2021 album. So here you see me putting up those pictures, as I was calling them, books. Yes, it is too close to my clock. I do actually move the clock up off camera slightly, but I like things to be symmetrical and even. So I couldn't, for the life of me, I tried to get it, each picture, because there's 4 of them, I couldn't, because there was only 3 of the other pictures, I could easily split the wall in half, put the picture in the middle of the wall, then split that space between the other wall and that picture in half, and then put the other picture there. You know what I mean? With 3, it was easy. He see me putting up my mirror, by the way. Quite boring, but hey ho, I'll keep trim wagging. And I couldn't figure out in my head. I know I probably could have done it back in high school when I was doing fractions all the time, but we all know how I feel about fractions, don't we? Can't do them, don't like them. I don't respect fractions. I don't like fractions. I don't appreciate fractions in any sort of way. And I couldn't work out in my head how to divide that wall in 4. I know how to divide it in 4, half and half again, but so that there was an equal space between each picture and the wall. And it was harder than we thought. My parents ended up coming up because before I had a breakdown. I literally had a breakdown over this. I literally had to stay at my parents' house because I was just so stressed over it. Sounds pathetic, I know, but I haven't been in a good headspace anyway. I've the mental health situation is just not getting into that right now. And so what am I doing now? Oh yes, putting the tape on the back of those AJR pictures. And then you saw me. So the words, I'm taking the words off because they're too small. I didn't realise the sun was so big. You'll understand exactly what I mean when you see it on the wall. Didn't realise the sun was so big, so the words do kind of look a bit stupid. So I found somewhere else online to get bigger words, because that was the biggest size that this shop did on Etsy. But I found another shop on Etsy now that does it like up to 60 inches, which will be a lot better. So I will probably do that. What was I saying? Yes, yeah, my parents did put the pictures up on the wall, because I did try, but I couldn't get it straight. I didn't have a spirit level. I knew my dad had a spirit level. So here you see me get my mixed tiles up, which is for the other wall. But again, as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm just unboxing things as and when they arrive, just to get rid of the boxes. This was the most satisfying thing, cutting all those little sun strips out. So yeah, my mental health hasn't been fantastic, actually. I've actually never had it so bad in my life. I went to that appointment that I mentioned on that video. As I'm talking through this, like it's nearly the end of March by the time it's like a week till my birthday. I went to that appointment. They referred me to somewhere else. I went to go and see them, and because the original place I went is pretty much just a therapy thing, and they knew I didn't need therapy. They exactly said I'm too unwell for therapy, was their exact lingo, because I'm not able to talk to them without my mum being there. I don't feel safe being by myself with them, not because of them, but because of my mental health. I don't really know how to describe it. And so they referred me to somebody else who did like a quick assessment on me, and has now referred me to the mental health service in a hospital close to me for an assessment, like an actual mental health assessment, to see if I've got like a diagnostic assessment. That's where I'm up to right now. I got that letter actually today as I'm like talking, as I'm doing this voiceover. I haven't actually got an appointment through yet. They'll send my mum a text because they've got my mum's number, not mine. And they'll send me a letter because they've got my address. So that's where I'm up to with that. And obviously that's been going on for the past 2 weeks now. And it took up a lot of my time. So yeah, this was like 10 minutes before a breakdown, because the sun was fine putting up. I was fine putting the sun up and the words up eventually, even though they are a bit wonky, but they're coming down anyway, so I didn't really care about that. The pictures, however, weren't the best thing. So as you saw, I was like, I'm taking my hoodie off. Like, I did all this like just eyeballing it, and I didn't really have a picture to follow. I just kind of guessed, and I think I did quite well considering I had no reference picture. I am quite good. Like, my dad's taught me, he's a trained graphic designer, so he's taught me bits and pieces in the past, you know. And so as you can see, the size of the words compared to the sun, like, they're fine, but they just look a bit washed out and a bit stupid. So, and when I put the pictures up, it doesn't look right. So I'm going to redo the words. Don't know when I'm going to do that. Not anytime soon. I don't really want to look at that wall right now because it stressed me out quite a lot, actually. But trying to get, like, I asked for them. I know they probably have limitations, but I asked for the shop if they could put it up, if they could do it in one long line, but they gave it to me in 3 bits. So trying to get these 3 little bits in one straight line without a, what's it called? Not a tape measure, spirit level, was near impossible. So my parents came up. I went to my parents' house that night, and yeah, you see me keep taking it off the wall because I can't get it straight. So I went to my parents' house that night because I just wasn't feeling great in my mental state anyway. Not because of the pictures, but I think I was reacting worse to it because of my mental state. So then my parents dropped me off back at home the next day, and my dad came up with a tape measure, spirit level, and did it for me. So I just wasn't working really. So as you can see, that I'm actually crying in that clip because so I just ended up stopping it. And so this was filmed yesterday, actually. Like, this is very, very recent. This was filmed yesterday. These were the words that sign, that quote that says, I'm looking at it right now, I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. Now, originally, I was just going to put the line, I am what I choose to become up, because it's just a nice sentiment. I didn't want it to sound too therapy office-y. Like, it sounds like it belongs in a therapy office, which whatever gets us through the day, really, you know what I mean? But the way that, as you can see in these clips, it was one big stencil. Like, I thought it was going to come in like strips of words, but no, this one decided to come kind of in 2 lines, and I didn't want to cut it because then the line would have been wonky, and so I just put it both up. Like, I put all of it up on the very top of the wall. So I was just going to do 1 line, but I just didn't want to chance it. Yeah, I didn't want to chance making it wonky. And as far as I'm aware, my dad left his tape measure. So when he did my AJR pictures, he left the tape measure for me. And so I could do this wall by myself because I knew I could do it because there's only 3 pictures for now. And don't know what I'm going to do when I get more pictures. My aim is to get another picture for each side. So there'll be 5 pictures in total. I just need to go to places to get said pictures, you know what I mean? So I kind of just... Also, popping all of these things out. Didn't know I had to do this, but it was the most satisfying thing in the world. And then putting them, so when it goes on the wall, you just kind of spirit level onto the wall. I just used... They told you to use like paper tape, like masking tape. Do I own masking tape? I don't. What do I own? Electrical tape. So I put it up on the wall with electrical tape, black electrical tape, you'll see in the next clip. And putting the letters into it, they slid in so nicely. They just plopped in so nicely. It reminded me, you know, like when you're like a toddler, or like if you've had a toddler in your family, and you have those like alphabet wooden jigsaws, and you put like the little letters into the wooden jigsaw. That's exactly what it reminded me of. Like, it fitted so nicely. It was the most satisfying thing to do. And like, it was just all just really satisfying. So I was watching the new episode of... I was doing this last night, actually. Today's Friday, sorry. Friday? Is today Friday? I think today's Friday. Yeah, yesterday was Thursday night, and I was watching a new episode of High Potential, which is a really good show on Disney Plus. I recommend people watch it. And I was just vibing, really, just taking all these letters out. Quite annoyed that I couldn't keep them in good nick. I had to really, like, bend these letters to get them out. They were very highly, like... not highly pressed in, how would you word that? Like, I was scared of actually ripping the stencil, but I didn't. So I don't really know what else to speak about. No, because this has just been what I've been doing. If I've either been doing this, something to do with these walls, or I've been in some sort of appointment with my mental health, like or I've been at my parents' house, which I've been spending a lot of time there. Like, I'm thinking of like spending some time there, like not moving back there, because I really do enjoy living by myself. He seemed to be taking out these little black letters, which was a lot easier, but I'm really struggling to like remember to eat and stuff right now. I don't know why I'm telling people this. I mean, I'm always transparent about my mental health on this channel. He seemed to be just like kind of seeing how well they fitted into it, just like, I was curious. And I was like, oh my God, they fit really well, actually. It is like one of those little jigsaws that you give to like a toddler. And so, yeah, I've just been spending a lot of time at my parents' house. Otherwise, I would have got this done probably a lot earlier than what I did, because this has taken 2 weeks. And I've had all this stuff here for quite some time, actually. So you see me with a blanket on, because this was like quite late last night. This was like 1 o'clock in the morning, technically early this morning. So I bought this double-sided tape. It was stickier than I thought it was. Like, it didn't say it was like what's it called, heavy duty tape. It didn't say it was heavy duty tape, but like, they're not coming off the wall, like, at all. They're not budging. It was like really, it looks really thin and like just normal tape, but it's really like, I put the 2 tape, as you can see, there's 2 rolls. I put both rolls on top of one another and trying to prise them apart. It was just, I don't know why it was so strong, but I didn't do them all on camera because I was sick of sitting on the floor and I just wanted to lie in bed. So my camera was dying anyway. So I put my camera on charge for the night and then got into bed with the rest of the letters and just did them while watching High Potential. But yeah, stuff like this, like little weird, tedious tasks like this, I found really satisfying. I love repetitive tasks. Is that the autism in me, or is that just me being quirky? Who knows? But I really just enjoyed sticking all this. I was scared I was going to run out of tape, and like I nearly did. Like, I had to like stop using so much tape on each one. I could only use like a little square on each one, because as you can see, like, I'm using like big bits there. And like, it honestly didn't need that much tape. Didn't need that much tape at all, but I didn't really understand how strong this tape was going to be. But a lot better to peel off than that red stuff that I use, like the No More Nails tape strip things that you get. Found out the Range sells it. So the Range is a shop in the UK which I can only compare to something like Target in Australia or Target in the US or something. It sells, well, a range of items. Yeah, that's why they call it the range. And I didn't know that they sold it. I know Amazon sold it, and Amazon had been where I'd been getting it from for years. Oh, look how many A's there are. That's fun. And I found out me and my mum were in the range. What were we in the range for? What were we buying? I was looking for something in the range. I was like, oh, the range will sell it. Chocolate ready break? Still haven't found it, by the way. It's been 2 weeks. We have tried Iceland. We have tried Aldi. We have tried Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Asda, online shopping, Amazon. Nowhere sells chocolate ready break anymore. And it's still on like the Nestle or wherever it's from website, Weetabix website. It's on the actual website saying it hasn't been discontinued right this second, but you cannot get a hold of it at all from any online retailer, any like in-person retailer. I just don't know what's happened to it. I do not know what's happened to it. Went to the cinema, actually. Me and my mum went to the cinema in these 2 weeks. What did we go and watch? Was that in these 2 weeks? No, I went to the cinema by myself. Did I? To watch Wicked. Yeah. So this was filmed today. This was all filmed today now, actually. Wearing these exact clothes right this second as I'm doing this voiceover. So what you did was do you see what I mean by it came like 2 lines, and like I didn't really want to cut in the middle of it because I was scared of ruining the stencil. Like this thing cost like £200. I did not want to ruin it, so I just put it up as it was. I think it looks good like that. Even if the quote is a bit therapy roomish, I am not what happened to me. I'm worried. I just think it's like a really positive message about moving forward and that we're not defined by, because we're all human. We all go through different things. Our lives are all dealt different cards, and we all go through stuff, big or small, and like it's not what happens to us. It's not the things that we can't control in life. That doesn't define who we are. That's just a part of our story. Life's really about making for ourselves what we want to be. You know, like I like to do my YouTube and stuff. And even though I'm a very anxious person, I try my best at it. And I've been through it. Everyone has been through it, you know. And I'm not gonna let that stop me, and I'm not gonna let that define me. And that's kind of the message I get from it. So like, yeah, it might be a bit therapy roomy, but I really like the sentiment of it. And so sticking them in there was literally like, as I said, like a toddler putting the letters in one of those puzzle board things. And it was so satisfying because you didn't have to like nudge it. They just slid it. I would pay £200 just to have that experience of doing that again, honestly. It was it just cured something in my soul. It was just the most satisfying thing. And then pulling the cardboard off as well. So you'll see now, I take all the tape off it, my black electrical tape, and it just, look at that, just slides off. Look at it. And then you can see the actual quote then. It is really big, isn't it? And so what you see me doing now is I marked the centre. Yes, last night at some point, I marked the centre of the wall. So I measured the entire wall. It was like whatever. Found the middle number of that. Then measured the wall again. Marked the middle number. And then marked the middle of the frame. So by doing that, I measured the whole frame. Found the middle of the frame. Put a little mark on it. Met the mark up on the frame to the mark up on the wall. And then did the same thing. So I measured one end of the picture to the end of the wall. Found the middle of that. Did the same thing, found the middle of the picture, put the middle up to the middle of the picture, and then the same on the other side. So each picture is a equal amount of space between each other and the wall. Back to present day Alex now.
I feel like my hair has grown literally just in the span of making this video, and I'm not really a fan of it. Like I don't mind it long so I can tie it back. I don't mind it short so I can make it scraggly. But anyway, that's not what we're discussing. So I finally finished my walls. That wall and that wall, which was the bane of my existence, let me tell you. So this wall, I can get quite a good angle on this while sitting down. So my whole plot, the words far too small, so I will probably be replacing them, but it says, "I hope I made you smile, that's all I ever wanted." It's a line from that album, I'd like to say. I think it's the last song in that Blue album there. So they are going from it's backwards for everyone, by the way, so both of these walls will be backwards for people because of the way I'm filming this, I think. It starts off the 2017 album, the 2019 album, the 2021 album, and then the 2023 album. So they go in chronological order from the wall to the mirror. Now, the film that you saw, the time lapse that you saw, was me putting that one up, taking it off the wall. Sorry, that one. Taking it off the wall, putting it back up again, and then crying. Pretty much, probably might not see that bit because it's so quickly time lapsed. But long story short, I couldn't figure out how to get it how to split the wall in like 4 equal sections and make them from the mirror to the wall 4 equal sections apart. And so I put the sun up perfectly fine. The words are a bit wonky, but I'm going to be replacing them anyway because they're a bit too small for what I wanted. But I found somewhere in the meantime that does bigger graphics. So, but I couldn't figure out how to equally space these things apart, so I had to recruit my dad to do it. So my dad did do it on Wednesday. It's now Friday afternoon. My dad did it on Wednesday. And for the past 2 days I've been working on this wall here, which is, I will be adding, I know it looks really bland right now, but I will be adding to this wall. This is kind of, does look like it belongs in a therapy office, but like, I don't really care. It says, I'm not what happened to me, I'm what I choose to become. So like all my accomplishments, all the places I've been to are going to go along the wall. Right now we've got, the first one is Wales, then that's England during the pandemic, and then we've got, Perth, the other end there. And eventually when me and my mum are going on a few trips, I'm going to put them along there, which will be fun. And I'm quite proud of myself. I did move the mirror up as well. I think there's a clip of that in there. I am quite proud of myself. I did this one myself because it came with stencils, as you could see, what I just filmed just today. But yeah, those pictures were going to be the death of me. So I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to stress myself. I'm stressed enough right now in life anyway from loads of different things that are going on in the world right now and in my world and in the real world. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I'm going to replace the words eventually. You'll see them in a later vlog in the year or whatever. And yeah, don't know what the next video will be. Don't know what the last video will be. Don't know when you're going to be seeing this, but it'll come out eventually. And I hope people enjoyed watching me get stressed over my walls. I'll see you.